Mwah, Jet and Taco here. Welcome, one and all. Today, I'm gonna be messing around with Roll20. Hello. Hey, Zool showed up. And thank you for your kind messages, Morgan, if you're still here. Yeah, so it's kind of D&D. It's I didn't really know how to put in the Twitch game that I'm going to be learning tools necessary for preparing D&D, so I just put it's D&D. Close enough, honestly. You know what? I'm a super villain. I just scammed you all. Ha ha ha. Got him. So what we're going to be doing first today, and maybe only today, we don't know yet, is going through the tutorial on Roll20. What Roll20 is a program that lets you do the tabletop stuff of tabletop RPGs like D&D online. So it has like this game grid. My mouse will show up. It has a game grid, and so basically it's a digital game grid that you can play with multiple people on. And the reason I'm going to be taking some time to try to learn how to use this properly is I do want to start a Vtuber D&D campaign at some point. So that's the goal here at this point. So I guess I should just read through this. On my little screen, I don't know if y'all can see this very well. I wonder if I can make this any bigger. I'm sure there's a way to. You know what? I'll just read through it. Okay. So the first thing it says when I pull this up: welcome to Roll20, the free, easy way to play tabletop RPGs online. Let's go over the Virtual Tabletop, or VTT, the basic tools available in the free version of Roll20. If you'd like to jump to a different section or start over, these options are available. You are logged in as the Game Master or GM, which gives complete control over the application and allows you to see everything going on in the game. Perfect, I love to be a GM. Alright, your players are restricted to seeing and controlling only what you decide to show them. And the VTT is the white grid-lined area that takes up the majority of the Roll20 application. By default, players can see but not control everything placed on the tabletop. The VTT is updated in real time. There's no edit or play mode. Settings and objects are adjusted, added, or removed for your players as changes are made. The Roll20 system is agnostic, meaning that it provides a wide array of tools to play any tabletop game. First tool we're going to look at is the drawing tool. Click the freehand icon. Okay. You have selected freehand drawing tool, the default option for drawing tools. You can click anywhere on the tabletop to add a drawing. Add one to proceed. Yeah, I'm just gonna add a drawing. There we go, I added a drawing. Does everybody like my incredible drawing abilities? A secondary pop-up will appear after you click the drawing tool. This additional toolbox allows you to change the stroke width, line color, and fill color of your drawings. The default line color is your player color, which can be changed at any time by clicking the color box next to your display name. Ooh, I want to change my player color. I want to be green. Green! It is oddly phallic. I don't understand how that could possibly have happened. No comprehendo, por favor. Okay, so the Draw Shape tool allows you to quickly add pre-made shapes. By default, you'll draw a rectangle. Give it a try, okay? I draw a green rectangle. Did it. Like many of the other tools, Draw Shape can provide different functionality by holding down the Shift or Alt keys. The Shift key will cause the shape to snap to the grid, while Alt will draw a circle. Shift is grid snap, okay, that's cool. And then Alt draws wait, that's not Alt, I'm dumb. Alt is that one. Ooh, it draws a circle. Got it. Baguette. Baguette. I like baguette. Why does it look sad? The shift key was okay. I gave that a try already. The polygon line tool adds lines and polygons by connecting vertices, joints, or angles on the VTT. Left clicking will start your polygon. Each additional click will add a new vertex. Okay. You can right click, hit escape, or click very close to the starting point to finish the polygon. Control Z will undo each line segment. Okay. Add a polygon to continue. Bam, bam, bam. Adding a polygon, making a polygon. This is an irregular polygon. Do 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 do. Done. Infected. Infected by what? What am I infected by? I'm confused. You can change the fill color of your polygons from the secondary drawing toolbox. The default fill is transparent, represented by gray and white checkers. Try changing the fill color and adding a new polygon. Okay, I want the fill color to be purple. Let's add a polygon now. Whoa, look at this. It is purple. We did it. This is the text tool. It allows you to add text to the tabletop, which can be useful for notes, messages, and labels. The secondary text toolbox allows you to change the font style, size, and color, add text to the VTT, and then click the next button to continue. Okay. Oh, I accidentally, I guess, added text. Objects are visible and persistent for everyone once the drawing is complete. The Select Move tool lets you move and alter objects on the VTT. In Select mode, you can click, highlight, rotate, resize, delete, or move objects on the VTT. What is it? Okay. And to select multiple objects, click on an empty part of the tabletop and drag to create a selection box around the objects. You can also hold the Shift key to select multiple objects without losing the previous one. If you want to only select drawings, you can do so by holding down the Alt key while making your selection box. Hold Control to select only tokens. Try manipulating your drawings now. Okay. Okay, so I can slide it around like this, and I can select them all, and slide them around. Can I delete them all? Thank you. I want these all gone now. Delete. Control Z. We've selected this option for you. Confirm the clear on the pop-up to continue. Clear. Hooray! The Art Library tab helps you search for images to use as tokens, portraits, and maps for your games. You can filter your search from the drop-down on the top of the tab. Roll20 will automatically search through any files you've uploaded, popular RPG forums, sites on the web, and the Roll20 marketplace. Type the word Archer in the search box. Ooh, okay. But this is cool. So these ones are premium assets that I have to pay for. Zool, I'm still curious what I'm infected with. I am confusion. The matches are based on the asset's name, the folder it's in, and any custom tags you add. Marketplace assets come with a default set of tags their authors include. Oh. No, those are just green bits. Green is good. Green good. Bright green is good. Premium assets with a gold background can be expanded to show a massive inventory of art options that can be purchased directly from the Art Library tab. Web results with a blue background, as well as assets from your library or purchased from the marketplace, can be directly copied from search into your folder structure by right-clicking. Copy to library will add the asset to the top of your folder structure. Copy to folder adds it to an existing folder you've prepared. Assets from your library can also be opened in the folder view by left-clicking on them. The search view button allows you to toggle the way your search results are displayed, from a list view to a large icon view. You can drag an image directly from the search into the tabletop to add it to your game, drag any image into the VTT to continue. Just gonna add a basic archer guy. This guy, he's an archer now. Ooh, interesting. If the page grid is enabled, the image will change dimensions to fit. If you wish to keep the original dimensions and size of your asset, hold the Alt key while dragging and dropping. I can make him bigness. Big archer. Roll for initiative. There is a giant freaking archer coming right at you. Pew 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 pew. The Premium Assets tab shows you all of your purchased marketplace assets, the image packs you get as part of your subscription, and free assets that Roll20 provides to all users. Premium assets remain a static. Why does my music have word? Pretzel Rocks is crazy. Why did I think that was a monkey hanging from a bed? You what? I do not understand your brain. Let's go to this music. I mean, this fits more D&D, but it makes me want to go sleep. Oh well, we'll stick with it for a while. We shall sticky. If you zoom out, it kind of does, though. I mean, no, that still doesn't especially look like a monkey hanging from a branch to me. Whatever. Premium Assets remains a static organized list of your important content. You can drag and drop assets from this list directly into your game. If you wish to reorganize your premium assets, you can copy them into your folder structure in the same ways as your library search results. You can even copy entire sets directly into your folders. The My Library tab shows all of the assets you've uploaded and the folder structure you can use to organize them. Your recent uploads is the home of your uploaded files. You add a file into your art library by dragging it into the tabletop from outside the app. I did not say premium assets, I said assets. Assets! There's a T there, okay? Asset. Your recent uploads is the home of your uploaded files. You add a file to your art library by dragging it into the tabletop from outside the app. direct uploading supports JPEG and PNG file formats. Wait a second. You can upload files via the upload file. Okay, wait. Can I? Wait a second. Is this gonna show on screen? Okay, it doesn't. Mwahaha! I've inserted myself into D&D. Oh, why do I look squashed as fudge? Wait. If I just... Wait. So if I click it and hold Alt and it keeps the... Okay, well at least this time I don't look squashed. I don't know why I was squashed. I am a D&D character. I will fight this archer. I don't know why I keep making weird noises on stream. It's just gonna either get me clipped or get people to dislike the videos or whatever, so I don't know. You can also upload files via the upload. Yeah, I just did that. Once you have the assets you want in your library, you can organize them in the folder structure. You can add folders to your library by clicking the add button or right-clicking and selecting the add subfolder option. You can drag your art assets into any open folder by its handle, the 3 lines that appear when hovering over it. Then you can nest assets and folders up to 5 levels deep. 5 levels of nested folders? Such organization potential. Selecting this button filters your recent uploads to only show files that are not already copied into your folder structure. This can help ensure you've organized all your files. Be careful when deleting items from recent uploads. Once a file has been deleted from here, it's gone for good. That means it will disappear from all existing games you're using it in, and there's no way to recover the image unless you upload it again and re-add it as you need. Clicking on an asset in your library will open a folder view. Warning, items deleted. Yeah, okay. I don't want to delete it, thank you. Whoa, why is this? What are you over here for? What is this? I can't read that. What is it? Let me, oh, can I scroll this way on this? I can't. No? What? Whomped? Whomped? I don't know what that says. You can rename a token by clicking on its name in the folder view. You can also add and remove tags in the same way. Good afternoon, beholder. Beholdlier? I'm unsure of how that should be pronounced. Beholdlier. Good afternoon. When viewing your recent uploads in the folder view, you can also get metadata about your files, including the day they were uploaded, their file size, and your total storage quota and usage. With at least one item selected, you can drag items from your folder view into your file structure to mass move them. You can add files to a folder by dragging them from your folder structure into the folder view to append them to the beginning of that folder. The folder view has a context menu. Right-click with tools to select all items in the folder view and mass delete selected items. If you're using the folder view to organize a folder from your library and not your recent uploads, you can also add subfolders, mass, add and remove tags, and sort your folders alphabetically. Thumbs up. Oh, I just realized that's what I don't have on screen. Why did I do that? Oh, I know, because I put this... I mess up my streaming scenes whenever I do something different. I don't know. Should I have chat on screen for this? Man, we'll just leave it off so I don't ruin the rest of my stuff. Okay. The lines you drew earlier are considered drawings that are simpler and not as rigidly attached to the VTT grid as images. Images added to the VTT are considered tokens. Tokens have many features that drawings do not have, like radial bubbles, status icons, and can be paired to represent characters. Click your token. The 8 blue boxes around the token will allow you to resize the image. The single blue box coming from the top of the token allows you to rotate your image. Give it a try. Rotate or resize your image. Okay. Clicking on your token will view all its radial menus. Colors for the 3 radial menu bubbles can be customized by visiting the settings. The radial menu bubbles are good for tracking stats that might change regularly, like ammo or HP. These stats can be linked to an attribute once a character sheet has been assigned to the token. Add numbers to the radial menu bubbles by clicking on the radial and adding a number and hitting enter. Try updating a bubble to continue. Well, I'm glad you're curious. I've been curious. Like a year ago, I was like, I should learn this so we can have like virus-safe D&D with my friends. But that didn't end up really happening because of like computer issues and stuff. And I've seen tons and tons and tons of people talking about like Vtuber D&D, Vtuber D&D, Vtuber D&D. I've only seen a few people actually do it, so I was like, you know what? Today, I don't know what to stream, and I'm thinking about D&D, so I'm just gonna go through the Roll20 tutorial and try to figure it out. You know, even if I don't become a master, I've learned from experience that, like, since so few people are willing to dungeon master, you can just be a scuff master, like, a significant portion of the time. And it's not perfect, but it's still fun. Okay. Add numbers to the radial menu bubble. Oh yeah, do this thing. Oh, I can actually just do that. Okay. Enter a new value into the box or enter a modification like +5 or -3. That's actually a really cool feature. So when you like lose HP, you could just be like -45 because you just got hit by an elder dragon and your HP is now at -45 because you had none. Yeah. Well, Phoebe, you should like D&D. And I think watching other people play it is great. So maybe if I actually start a campaign, you will watch it, and it would be cool. But yeah, definitely that's the thing. So I wouldn't mind DMing, especially doing it as part of a VTuber thing where like I can do one stream preparing to DM and then stream the actual game and stuff like that. I think that would be great. The only thing is I don't know 5e. So another thing I'm gonna have to learn is 5e. So, you know, if you want to also stream me like reading the Game Master's Guide or whatever 5e has that's like that to learn 5e, that would be great. Oh, well that's good if you know 5e. I'm a Pathfinder person. I was brought in through Pathfinder, so I know first edition Pathfinder pretty well, and it's not like I haven't watched people play 5e, Like, I follow Yogscast's Aroas campaign pretty closely. I've watched Critical Role, stuff like that, so I know 5e a little bit, but I haven't like read the books like I have the Pathfinder books. I've read all the Pathfinder books. Yeah, it is pretty math heavy. That's one of the drawbacks. Also, Pathfinder 1e really suffers from it suffers from the exact same problem that like modern Minecraft does, where they've had so long to add new things to it that it's barely even similar to the thing they had in the first place, right? Like, they had like a slightly modified 3.5e in the first Pathfinder books, and then they just added to it so much that it was crazy, and everything's in it. Everything is in it, and you know, like their world map, there's just a portal to hell you can stumble across and walk into. You can also stumble into a spaceship and go to outer space. There's just like craziness, and I love that. I love that spirit of craziness. It's just a lot. Okay, so you can also apply math to bubbles that already have a number. For example, if you were tracking hit points, you could type -1 after hit and would subtract 1 from the current total, or +5 after drinking a potion. The icon menu is good for tracking conceptual ideas, status effects on a token. You can click to add any number of markers. Reselecting the marker from the menu removes the status icon. Whoa, that's a lot of stuff. Wait, let me move this up and click this thing. Net. You're in a net. Got him. You're poisoned or something. Got him. Oh. I guess that means you're dead. I guess that's the dead button. I don't know. My idea thus far for Vtuber D&D, that I haven't thought it out super well, but my idea is, don't complicate it by having a character play a character. Modify the Vtuber into basically like a homebrew of the closest related thing in the game, right? Like, have essentially a VTuber play as themselves in a fantasy. Well, I don't know. I don't really love hard fantasy, like hard medieval fantasy. I like the kind of like sci-fan where anything can really happen, like from one region to another the genre could completely change and it's just fine because it's, you know, fun. Like, whatever's the most fun is what happens, not what is the most like makes sense for a hardcore fantasy world. Like, it's not Lord of the Rings. It's like, I don't know, something like Phineas and Ferb or something. Yeah, I'm sure I'm not the first person to come up with the idea, and I've seen people talking about it. That's the thing about D&D. A lot of people talk about how much they like to play D&D. Less people play D&D, and even less people play D&D regularly or seriously. It's wild to me. It's super. I mean, I guess one of the reasons that people don't play it so much is it takes hours. Like, when I used to play and when I first started playing, I started playing with this group of older dudes who had been playing the game since like advanced D&D age. So, you know, they would pick one day a week, usually like a Saturday or Sunday, and play for 8 to 10 hours, pretty much nonstop. Play D&D twice a week. Yeah, this is semi-serious is good, and like not taking it too seriously, I understand, especially with the devotion thing, but one of the most frustrating things about D&D is when you can't reliably get people to show up. Okay, bye Phoebe. Have funness. Okay, what were we doing? Oh yeah, reselecting removes the status icon. Okay. Can I please click next on here? Look. Don't make me do this. No. Where'd it go? Let me click next. Okay. Try updating a bubble. Okay. Okay. Next. Optionally, you can hover over the icon in the menu and press the number keys 0 through 9 to add numbers to the icon marker. Give it a try. Okay, can I just hover over the icon in the menu and press the number keys in the menu? What? Oh. Okay. It's understandable to yeah, and that happens. Like, most D&D games, in fact, I've never played a D&D game or a Pathfinder game that ends properly. It's oh, well, we can't do it this week, there's a holiday, and then like 3 weeks later, you give up. And with the group I used to be playing with, and I feel sort of this way myself a little bit, they were more into character building than playing characters. They weren't super big into role play. They were kind of like hack and slash players a little bit. And one of the things that they really liked to do is they liked the like brain puzzle of building really powerful characters, and that's kind of what Pathfinder is good for, of course, is the very heavy numbers mechanics and having so many books that it's like a whole encyclopedia of stuff, and looking through each little like sub page of each book and weird things and combining them in ways that are technically legal because the people who wrote the books didn't think of doing that, and making crazy stuff. Level 12. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, you get to level like 10 or so, 10 to 15, and you get kinda... something comes up always. That's one of the other reasons that I think having it as a VTubers thing hopefully would go better, because at least for a lot of VTubers, it's their second job or their main hobby, and so you could hopefully rely on them to show up to a game once a week for views, if nothing else. For the views. Yeah, there's always one person. Man, I've actually been through the like kicking somebody out of a game thing once before, because there's always one person who makes life harder. This one time we were playing with this guy. It was a guy that I kind of met in high school, even though he was a few grades older, and he occasionally had anger issues, and he would cheat dice rolls occasionally if he felt like the rolls weren't fair enough. But we didn't mind so much. Like, you know, saying you got a 10 when you got a 5 isn't that big a deal most of the time. But we started trying to get more people to play, because playing as just a group of like 3 or 4 isn't necessarily great for a very long time, especially when everybody who is playing has cycled as a DM and is kind of done with it for the time being. But we started inviting female players, and admittedly this wasn't the best group for female players per se. You know, it was a couple of older guys in their like 40s and 50s, and a couple of younger guys in their like teens and 20s. But we invited a female player, and this one dude threw a fit. He started doing that like really annoying thing that dudes do sometimes, the like, are you a real nerd? Have you even played Dungeons and Dragons before, dude? Like, man, I bet you're not even a true fan. I bet you don't even know like what a beholder is. Like that kind of junk. And then he got like really angry at her, and we had to like kick him out because he was being just that guy. I'm gonna do a sort of one-shot adventures. Yeah, starting with one-shots makes a lot of sense. It would make sense to start with some sort of one-shot and then maybe expand, or do something from the books. That's something that I've always thought was a kind of good idea, but never really did much. Is one-shots. I've always wanted to like get into juicy campaigns, but you know, juicy campaigns have a tendency to not go that well when you really want them to be juicy, but you're not like a great writer or planner, and you introduce the ultimate villain at like the second session. You know, it's definitely better when you have a wider range of people, and I'm not exactly proud that, you know, we were playing like old dudes D&D essentially as a younger person, because you know, you always run into the cultural issues that really shouldn't be tolerated. Like, you know, mild like sexist jokes and stuff can quickly turn into like a thing where you're like, actually you shouldn't say that, and then by the time you say actually you shouldn't say that, well then the session is spiraled out of control, and it's unfortunate, but there's a reason that I don't play with those people anymore. Okay, so the token settings menu allows you to set the player permissions of a token. You can access the token settings by clicking on this icon or double clicking the token. By default, players have no control over a token. If you're using characters from the journal in your game, a token can also be assigned to represent a specific character and share its attributes. Ooh, a raid from Rebel Nerd Bricks? Awesome, thank you. A raid party of 6? Welcome, welcome everybody. That's huge, that's huge. We just kind of chilling and chatting and learning R20. Well, thank you for the follow, Gil Kazoo. Thank you for becoming a sucker. General Khan. Kanan? I guess. How's that pronounced? Kanan? Anyway, welcome. Khan, okay. Canon. Boom blam, canon. Yeah, so I mean we kind of just like chatting about D&D experiences and reading through the tutorial of Roll20, because this would be a cool thing to use at some point. Okay, so the token can also be assigned a specific character and share its attributes. Got it. Token settings. This is what the token settings menu looks like when it's open. You can name your token from this box. To make the token's name visible to everyone from the VTT, click the Show Nameplate checkbox. Yeah, it does seem overwhelming, and that's why I decided to do it as a stream. I tried to do it about a year ago, and got like, I don't know, 5 minutes into the tutorial and was like, this is a lot. But doing it as a stream means I can read the stuff out loud to help me like remember it. I can chat with people about it, and also have a video record of me learning it to maybe watch again in the future, though listening to my own VODs is painful to my ears. So who knows if I'll actually do that. Encounter plus. That makes sense. Also, my music stopped. Why did my music stop? Is the music back? What's going on? Okay, it's back. I don't know. I wasn't hearing it. That could be. Oh, no. That was totally on my end. Oops. Yeah. Let's turn this back. I tend to accidentally get this thing where my headset, which probably should be replaced, just adjusts the sound on its own. So, stuff happens. Mysterio? Me? Look like Mysterio? I mean, maybe. I am that absolutely somewhat similar to Mysterio. I kind of look like Mysterio, but thank you. I'm actually currently working on some design updates a little bit, some color adjustments, things like that. But I'm not an artist and I don't know how to draw, so I'm waiting for commissions, which is just VTuber life. Okay, let's see. Oh, congrats on the 3D avatar debut. I don't know if I would ever get a 3D avatar, honestly. Just the way that I look, I think would not translate well into a 3D model, or at least any easy to get 3D model. And I do worry personally about 3D models. A lot of them look good, but some of them have clipping tendencies, and clipping is one of those things that it's not usually a big deal, but when it becomes noticeable, it gets really noticeable. My brain just doesn't with the clipping. Like, even some people with really great 3D models, when their designs are prone to clipping, I'm just like, oh, my brain. This is Star Wars Clone Trooper. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. A custom recolor of existing. That makes sense. Yeah, because I have seen people for VR chat make some really awesome looking clone troopers. Okay, wait, what does this thing want me to do? I forgot already. The name... Okay, put the name in the box. Wait, this guy is the archer. Can I... Okay. Oh. Is this my token set? This is Jet. This is Jet's token. The player controls character nameplate on, and the token has been set to represent that character. The player will automatically gain control of the token. Okay. You can also set the maximum for a radial attribute. The box to the left represents the current value displayed above the token. The box on the right represents the maximum. Oh, so you can set max HP and then just subtract from there, and then re-go to max? Interesting. Yeah, VR chat is cool. I don't know if I would ever be a person who streams VR chat, but I think VR chat streams are pretty cool. There's a lot that you can do. Also, 3D models are really good for things like, I forget what it's called now. Why did I forget? The lightsaber DDR. Why do I forget the names of things? My brain is just like, yeah, no, Dance Dance Revolution, but with lightsabers, that game. Beat Saber, that's what it's called. Yeah, Beat Saber. 3D models are good for Beat Saber. I also don't know if I would ever play Beat Saber on stream. Yeah, I meant Beat Saber. My brain just don't work good sometimes. Yeah, Live 2D's pretty pog. I think from what I've seen online, the pressure of so many people wanting to become VTubers and it all happening at a comparably short time is putting a lot of pressure on artists to learn and revolutionize the market. So obviously, like, everybody has seen the work that Brian does with awesome Live 2Ds, and that's no doubt. But I think a lot of people are working on what can really be done with Live 2D and face tracking. I've seen people working on being able to do like 360 spins, like a 3D model with a Live 2D. There's people working on a lot of transforming stuff and crazy out there emotes, and I think it's gonna be awesome in the near future. Yeah, quite hard to make the layers of a helmet work. Yeah, that makes sense. I've heard some artists talking about how for Live 2D especially, and I'm not really sure exactly why this is, but stuff like solid objects and armor and stuff like that are really, really hard to look realistic. So some artists don't want to take on anything like that. I've personally been told that I am somehow mechanical, and that some artists are not really willing to work on live 2Ds for me, and it's like, wow. Basically taking flat parts of an image and stretching and twisting them. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I guess from the tutorials I have seen, that would make perfect sense, because you're like bending a mesh of a thing, so making flowy is easier than making something rigid. I do wonder though. I don't know. My brain is not suited for certain things. We should continue doing this thing. Oh no, I'm starting to lose frames. No. It'll be fine. We'll be fine. Stream, you can do it. Please. Okay, so you can also set the maximum for an attribute. Max attributes are useful for setting things like total hit points or the number of arrows that fit in a quiver. Once a max attribute is filled out, the token will display a bar above representing the ratio of the current maximum. Put the maximum number for your tokens bar 1 radial menu bubble and hit enter key. Okay, so maximum HP for me is going to be there. That's my max HP. It's also my power level. Thank you. Hope your food is good. Have good food. Okay, up to 2 auras can be set to represent ranges, fields of vision, or other indicators. Auras can be circular or square and have the same color options as players. Bama whamma. Auras default to circular unless the square checkbox is selected. They measure the radius of the aura by the same dimensions in the tabletop uses for measurement, in this case feet, customizable from page settings. Adding a numerical value to the box will automatically turn on the aura. Try adding a 10-foot aura to continue. Ooh, they're going to be adding advanced fog of war? Interesting. Okay, but how do I do this thing that it's wanting me to do? Try adding a new 10-foot aura. I am confusion of where it went. Oh, I can scroll down. Da-da-da. 10-foot aura of immense green power. Okay. Save settings. Oh, it changed it on this guy instead of me. What the fudge cakes? Wait, I wonder if I should... Oh, that's interesting. Okay. So I guess it didn't change my power level, it changed this guy's power level. To lots. Why did this name me Jet? I want it to be Jet. Ooh, wait. Ooh, that tells me how far things are. The measure tool allows you to determine distances between locations on the VTT. The measure tool uses the same units of measurement as the page, which can be adjusted from the page settings discussed later in the tutorial. Click and drag anywhere on the VTT to measure the distance from your starting point. Bam. This is something about this that I've seen on people's streams and been like, oh, that is so convenient. Instead of counting the square, like, when you're playing on a tabletop map and you're like, okay, I want to measure how far I can run, and say that you're playing like a really skeezy monk with a bunch of stuff, and your movement speed is like 1,000,000,000, and you have like the run feat, which in Pathfinder means that you can like multiply your movement speed by 4 when you're running, and you're just like, what is like 45 times 4, and then how far is the entire board? Can I just like cross the entire board at once? And you just, but with this, you just go like bam, then you can know. You're the skeezy monk. On Roll20, generally the tokens of one medium-sized creature can fill up 1 square. Oh, monk barbarian, yeah, that's movement skis right there. I consider doing that. One of the last characters that I actually played, I wanted to prove that Pathfinder's Merfolk was not completely useless in a land-based campaign. It was a campaign that took place near the ocean. It was mostly beachy, but it was a land-based campaign. So I piled on some feats and movement options and racial abilities and traits and gobbledygook, and got a merfolk with a land speed of 45. And of course, like, the other people in my party were 2 dwarf paladins. Well, no, that wasn't dwarf paladins. There was a dwarf and a catfolk, and I was playing a different character with the skeezy 2 dwarf paladins thing. But yeah, I was a merfolk, and I was just doing the thing to like prove that like a merfolk doesn't have to be ridiculously slow. So I did that. But no, speaking of the ridiculous dwarf paladins, that was a game where we were actually allowing one of our other players' sons, who was like 7, to play with us. So we basically decided to let his dad just build his character, and then he could control it. And the chaos of an overbuilt dwarf paladin controlled by a 7-year-old is not something that can easily be put into words, because obviously, like, paladin is very, very powerful. Human inquisitor that has peace. Yeah, the change of pace thing is definitely a big thing. I never played Inquisitor, but yeah, Human Inquisitor, pretty good. But yeah, those Dwarf Paladins, because they were both the same character, and so our party consisted at that time of a white mage, which is a wizard archetype that lets you cast healing spells, and a war cleric, and 2 dwarven paladins, both of which had armored riding bears as mounts. And all of us took the shield feat. My character, which was the white mage, had a ring of shield, which the DM allowed to work with the shield feat. And so we would just march in a block into anywhere with an armor class as a whole of like 25 or more, and basically the dwarven paladins would charge up as a wall, attack anything there, and then right behind them was a wizard that could cast healing spells, but was also had a bunch of feats that improved magic missile and stuff, and a wand of magic missile, and a war cleric who repeatedly forgot that they could cast healing spells and only used fireball repeatedly all the time, right where we were standing. But it was very, very, very powerful. Like, especially because that particular campaign, all of the enemies were sin spawn and demons and ghosts and stuff, and the fact that everybody can cast healing spells, and can cast like cure wounds and magic missile, when you're fighting things like shades and shadows and stuff like that, like normally they're really, really obnoxious, but then you're just like, okay, magic missile, channel energy, channel energy, channel energy, magic missile, channel energy, channel energy, channel energy, and everything is just dead. It's just gone. Just gone. With the grid turned on and the measuring tool rigidly snaps to the page unit, by holding the Alt key, you can detach the measure tool for more granular measurement. Okay, so this thing really likes the Alt key as a thing. So you can hold Alt and get like, ooh, oh, you can get like, that's 0.6 squares over how far you can move, actually. Similar to the measure tool, you can check the distance or how far your token has been moved. While moving a token with the select tool, you can press Q to check the distance you've moved it. Oh, that's easy. That's good. I like that, actually. That's a feature. That's a feature. You can also set waypoints by pressing Q key multiple times before setting the token down, creating a defined path for the token. Wait, so... Oh, that's actually pretty good. I like that. Yeah, this Q thing is pretty good. Yeah, it is so cool, because you could do that thing where you're like, no, I don't get an attack of opportunity by any of the enemies, because I am going to run, there, and then here, and then there, and that goes outside of the range of attacks of opportunity. And you go like, how do you have that much movement? That doesn't make sense. And you should just be like, no, here's the math of how I did it. Bam, 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 bam. I'm everywhere. I'm the Flash. I don't know why I keep making foghorn noises. I should stop making foghorn noises for sure, but that's happening. Yeah, I didn't even know this was a thing. I've seen people playing with Roll20 on streams before, and I've never seen somebody use that. They normally just like pull out the ruler and measure with the ruler. That's... This music is pogging. Okay. Pressing X after you set a token down will show its last movement, the starting point, and the distance it traveled. Wait. Wait, what square did I move from? It tells you. It just tells you. That's... This thing has cool tools. This is why it's good to learn this stuff. Maybe. Just be like, guys, let me show you something amazing, right? Wow, look at that. Look at that. Okay, by default, all players can see the measure tool and token path for a few seconds after you finish measuring. You can hide measurements through the ruler tool menu. Oh, that's just mean, right? That's the mean kind of thing where you're like, as a DM, you're like, how far is this many feet? And then you, oh, wait, that's not doing that. Like, let me, but like, when you're like, how far is 60 feet when there's a dragon? And everyone's like, oh no. But if you just hide it, they'll be like, what are you doing? What are you measuring? Nothing. Not a breath weapon. VTT is organized into several layers. The token layer is selected by default and is what players can see and interact with. The other layers we'll explore today are the GM layer and the maps and background layer. There's one additional layer used for dynamic lighting effects that's only available to users with a premium subscription. We won't be covering the dynamic lighting in the tutorial. For more information, check out dynamic lighting on the wiki. Well, you have to pay for the full version to use the dynamic lighting tool in this? What? Whoa, this music is loud now. Just doodle with the ruler. That makes sense. I feel that. Screwing with people is fun, often. Often fun. Okay. The map layer is behind all other objects. Players can see images on the map layer but can never interact with them. We've selected the map and background layer for you. As you can see, objects like drawings and tokens that were on the token layer are now semi-opaque and no longer targetable. This ensures that as you add new elements to either layer, you won't disrupt your work on the other. You can add a background image to the tabletop using the art library. Try searching for dungeon and making sure to switch your shirts to maps, tiles, textures, or you can import your own map. Okay. Wait. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay. So background, drag and drop background onto the thing to continue. Okay. Search maps, tiles, textures for a dungeon. What kind of dungeon? Whoa, that's a fancy dungeon right there. This is just a blank dungeon background. Some of these are fancy boyos. No, I don't want to open it. I want to put it on my thing. Okay, you can move, resize map pieces the way you're able to edit your token. Right-clicking on your map reveals a context menu that will allow you to set the map as a drawing, flip and reorder layers, and much more. Try editing the map. We've activated the GM info layer for you. This layer is unique in that the players will never be able to see or interact with anything on this layer, making it an ideal place for notes or labels within the text tool. Stage hidden enemies, place traps, or other prepared events. Switching back to the object and token layer essentially locks the GM and map layers, allowing you to move tokens without accidentally editing the map or your notes. Items on the GM layer are slightly transparent, a setting that can be adjusted from the page settings menu and will be explained later in the tutorial. There are several ways to communicate with your players. You can ping a location in the map by holding left click on the VTT. A circular ping that is visible to all players will appear on the map. The color of the ping matches your player color. GMs can hold shift and ping to focus the map on that area for all players, drawing their focus. Ping or shift ping anywhere on the map to continue. Okay, but how did it say to do it? I just read it and then immediately forgot. By holding left click. Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Ping ping. Ping ping. Okay. Pressing Z on a highlighted token or drawing will open a shadow box, allowing you to see your token at high resolution. Okay. GMs can also Shift Z to open the item for all other players, useful for highlighting this piece of art or revealing previously unknown details. Press Z to continue. Wait, just Shift Z. Okay, I mean that's pretty cool. So one thing that you could do with that is like place a little message on a door and then use that to zoom into it so everybody can actually like see what the mystic lore on the door says. And the last time I built a dungeon with that kind of stuff was one of those instances where it got kind of frustrating because everybody refused to play the game like a normal human being and decided that the easy first level dungeon, the first thing that for new players who had never played before, the people who were most experienced at the game decided to play the first level dungeon for brand new people as if every single square had a deadly booby trap, and so that made that dungeon take a long time. And don't you just get so frustrated when you write like a very easy to understand and simple like rhyme puzzle and it takes like an hour of debating to decide what to do about like a simple rhyme, even if the rhyme means almost nothing. Voice and video are the primary communication methods used on Roll20. The default method uses the internal video and voice options powered by WebRTC. Roll20 also supports Google Hangouts integration and is compatible with other third-party video or VoIP software. I wonder if I would ever use that. I mean, thinking about how I guess that would be one way to do it, but I don't think that would be the preferred way to do it. Like when probably the video integration, even if you broadcast your model as like webcam, probably not super useful, but who knows. Video and voice will automatically turn on as soon as the other player joins the game. The GM can choose to disable or change the size options for video display from the settings tab later in the tutorial. Players can use the voice and video through Google Hangouts by selecting the drop-down arrow next to the Join Game button on the game detail page outside the VTD. The text chat tab has many uses. Its primary function is communicating in text between players. Chat is persistent, meaning it doesn't disappear between game sessions and can be reviewed anytime from the chat archive available at the game details page. Yeah, that would make sense. Like, just use Discord for voice. And what I was thinking is potentially having the like on-screen PNG or even on-screen models of other players could be useful for a D&D thing. But I don't know if the integrated video chat would be the easiest way to integrate other models onto the stream, honestly. Because I know there's plenty of ways to do it. In a normal game, you would also be provided with a join link visible only to the GM. This link is the key to getting into your game. Only share this link with players you would like to invite to play. If you kick a player out of a game, an option available from the game details page, the join link will automatically change. There are several ways to communicate through the chat box, from emotes to whispers and more. You can speak as the GM or character by using the chat box. By default, you'll speak out of character. Use the As drop-down menu to select a different character. Emotes are formatted as center aligned, bold, italicized, and set in an orange font to highlight. Give it a try. Type /Ian Waves and click the send button or enter key to continue. /M Waves. Oh, that makes sense. You can whisper to other players or the GM in the chat box. A whisper is a private message that no one else can see except the sender or recipient. Fun fact that the tutorial may or may not get to as well. Type /W name message to whisper. For complex multi-word names, you can put the name in quotes to whisper the GM of the game. You can just type WGM. You can use text commands to type out dice rolls if things are too complicated for the default dice roller. That makes sense. I've honestly been considering whether or not to try to use D&D Beyond as well for this kind of thing. Because I know D&D Beyond has a bunch of useful features, and there is a Twitch integration feature for D&D Beyond, which I think could be interesting for sure. That's just another thing I will have to figure out. Had to consider rolling like 1d20 plus 5 minus 10 plus 1/2. Yeah, that makes sense. Pathfinder is full of junk like that, where it's like, oh, one ability adds this and then subtracts this and then adds. It's like, oh my gosh, my ding dangly gosh. Especially by the time you're a higher level character. Like, one time we played like 18th level characters. Jeebus, 18th level Pathfinder characters have too many abilities to make it make sense. They need to be purchased to be used in the website. That's true. But I mean, as far as additional books, I don't know how much that stuff is absolutely necessary. I was just kind of thinking D&D Beyond for the character sheet tool, because I know that this has character sheets to some extent, but I've seen D&D Beyond character builder sheet stuff, and my gosh, does that look a lot easier than doing it any of the old-fashioned ways. Because we used to do paper character sheets, and man, do those get confusing and messy. And in D&D Beyond, I know that there's like just a level up button that like takes you through all the steps of a level up, which is like crazy. Okay. Let's see, there's a tab autocomplete functions for names to speed up this process. Once you start typing, Roll20 will show you a list of players and characters to choose from. Hit tab to allow the autocomplete to fill in the selected choice. When new players join your game, their names will be added to the autocomplete list. Give it a try. Type w/gm hello. Or /w, not w/. /w gm space. Space GM. Hello. The modern fashion way of digital on the computer sheets, because that way there's room for homebrew or supplementary content. Yeah. I mean, when you're playing on paper, if there's homebrew or supplementary content, you just staple on a notebook sheet with a long list of stuff that definitely totally explains where you got that bonus from, and not at all looks suspicious when the GM looks at it and you have like a plus 15 to something. You can talk out of character using the chat box. Type /OOC or /O in your chat box to speak as yourself. Out of character entries always appear as the player rather than the character you have selected in the speaking as drop down. Give it a try. Okay. Whoa, that's pretty cool. GMs have exclusive chat commands available /DESC, /AS, and /EMAS. Yeah, that's true. DM player trust is pretty big. I don't know, I guess thinking back on it, the group that I used to play with a lot was a little bit adversarial. Like, the DM player relation was kind of a, can we build a character that the DM can't anticipate to ruin the game, or can we, stuff like that. I don't know, thinking back on it, it was fun, but not always the best. But, I don't know, I had fun. Alright, see you in a bit. Okay, GMs, yeah, that thing. Adding text following the /description command will appear as description, not having been spoken by anyone. That's pretty cool. This is a great tool for the GM to describe or announce something in a scene without having to do it out of character. Descriptions are formatted as center line, bolded, italicized, and set in black font with a light gray highlight. The GM can speak or emote as a character. If an entry has been made in the journal tab, the GM uses the /AS or /EMAS commands to quickly assume the identity of a character without having to change the as dropdown. You can use basic markdown syntax in your chat messages. You can use text bold, text italicized, and links and URLs. Click the send button. Okay. Rolling dice in Roll20 is easy. You can use the /roll or /r and then a dice formula to make a roll. Give it a try. Type r/1d20 plus 5 or /r. /1d20 plus 5. Enter. That's pretty cool. I got 23. That's actually a really good roll for 1d20 plus 5. And hit send to continue. Wait, oh. If you want to roll in secret, you can use /GM roll plus a dice formula, a roll that only the GM can see. /GM roll. Why did I type that? That's what happens when dragons breathe on you, usually. Something along those lines. Bad things happening. Ooh, one of those was a nat 20. Hoorah! Yeah, that's usually what dragon's breath looks like. It looks like about 145 hit points. Bam! What? For more compact roll representation, take advantage of inline dice rolls. Inline rolls can be used inside other types of chat messages like emotes or whispers. Inline rolls can use normal dice formulas. They only show the result of the total roll in a compact format and feature critical success color coding. Give it a try. Type attack. Can I just copy this? Nope. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be using much of this kind of coding, because $20 plus 5. Attack 23. Blam blam. I got another 23. That's two 23s from 1d20 plus 5. I don't know if these dice are the most fair dice. They seem pretty good. Who's going to dice jail? Hover your mouse over the result, the small yellow box in the chat, to see a tooltip with the full roll. Ah, interesting. The dice rolling GUI is an easy to use dice rolling tool. Click the D20 icon. Okay, don't do that, please. Why is it glitchy? Don't be glitchy. Okay. Oh, okay. D100. 5D100. Bam, done it. Okay, but let me click this again. Click the D20 icon. It's doing this thing again. Can I move this? Okay. Roll. Okay. Your last 10 rolls are displayed in the GUI. Save time by clicking on commonly used formulas during your game. Reroll Dragon's Breath 100 times. Bam. What? 3 nat 1s? And a nat 20. Okay. Still pretty janko. I'd say that's pretty janko. Your last 10 rolls are displayed in the GUI. Save time by clicking on commonly used formulas during your game. We've enabled 3D dice, which can be enabled and disabled from the settings at any time. Try out the 3D dice now by making the roll from the dice GUI or the chat tab. Follow the click and drag instructions to roll the dice and continue. Okay. What? It makes a loud noise when you do that. I don't understand. You can turn off dice agency. so that the 3D dice roll automatically without you having to throw them. You can find this option in the My Settings tab or clicking the Disable option when prompted. Roll20 supports a wide variety of dice mechanics. Visit our dice reference for more information. Okay, click and drag to roll the dice. Why does it... I don't understand what that's meaning, because it said 3D dice, like I could see the dice, but then I did the thing it said, and I couldn't see them. Okay. Select the page icon to open up the page toolbar drop down. Pages are an excellent way of managing location settings, time encounters, or content. The red player bookmark determines what page the players are on. You can click and drag the bookmark to move your players from page to page. Okay, bam, okay, bam, okay. Once you have other players in your game, you can click and drag a player's portrait from the bottom of the VTT onto a page. This will split the party, placing that player on a different page than the player bookmark. You can recombine the group by dragging their portraits back onto the player bookmark. There's tools for splitting the party. Haven't you heard to never split the party? There's a song about never splitting the party. Never split the party. I don't know, more modern tabletop RPGs, that's less of a problem than old school D&D, where it was like immediate death. Now people tend to play like, well, you know, you can split the party a little bit. I don't think most DMs these days would, like, I don't know, have a random encounter high-level dragon murder the party for not being in the same room for 10 minutes. Okay, add new pages from the page toolbar. Click the... Okay, you can rename your page by clicking its name to enter edit mode. Hover over the page that has the player bookmark to access the page settings. Click the gear icon to continue. Okay, so it has the bigness and the smallness and the stuff. Background color, green. 5-foot grids. Wait. We can have hex grids. I love hex grids. I know for the way the rules of games like D&D are built, they're built around square grids, and drawing like square things on hex grids is annoying. But hex grids are inherently more fair for movement than square grids are, because the hex grids you can move in any direction without the, like, diagonals issue being a thing. This shit. But I'll do square. Yeah, okay. Click the gear icon to continue. Save the settings. Hold this thing. I already did that part. Wait. Yeah, I already did this. Okay. Select the page icon to open it. Yeah, I already did that too. Gear icon. I hit the gear icon. Okay. I done did it. The tutorial don't want to move on from here. Okay. Well, we will move on to Fog of War stuff. With Fog of War enabled, the map appears semi-opaque. This opacity can be set from the page settings menus. To your players, the page appears completely black. They are unable to see anything on the token or map layers. We've selected the reveal tool for you. Click and drag on the tabletop to create a box to be revealed, making the area you select visible to your players. Hold shift to snap your reveal to the grid. Reveal. Look at that magic. Magic. You can use the Hide Areas tool to cover any parts of the map you may have revealed. This will obscure that part of the map again for all your players. Click and drag on the VTT to recover part of your revealed area to continue. Alright. I don't know why I make noises sometimes. Please, chat, stop me from making humiliating noises. Or if you're not gonna stop me, at least clip it. Okay. You can use the Hide Areas tool to cover any parts of the map you may have revealed. This will obscure that part of the map again for all your players. Click and drag on VTT to recover. Bam. Look, it's covered up again. There are two other options available from the Fog of War toolbox. The Polyagonal tool allows you to cut pieces of the fog in the same way the Polyagonal Draw tool allows you to create shapes, while the Reset Fog option blankets the map in perfect darkness. Roll20 offers dynamic lighting features that will automatically adjust vision and lighting in real time. For more information, visit that page. The Journal tab allows GMs to create handouts, characters, and organize folders for the game. The Add button allows you to add a new item to the game's journal. Click the Add button to continue, and then select the handout to continue. Okay. Ooh, a mysterious note. All players. Can be edited by me. Tags. Note. I don't want to drop a file. This thing says... Save changes. Show it to the players. Is that what I was supposed to do? I did it. I did the thing tutorial. Yeah, okay. Click add handout. Okay. I did that. I done it. Okay, tutorial, what do you want me to do next? What do you want me to do next, tutorial? Welcome back! Okay, what is the jukebox? The jukebox lets the GM play background music and sounds that everyone can hear. Click the Manage Audio button to get started adding music. Ooh, wait, do they have built-in music? Here's the thing for built-in music. YouTube rules. Why must YouTube be the bane of music and sound effects? YouTube, why? Why do you do this to us? I'm just gonna say... YouTube safe. No? No. Okay. Tracks that are YouTube safe? No? Okay. What is this? Tabletop audio. Oh, interesting. They have some built-in things. Interesting. Okay. I already clicked the add button. Okay. Next. New playlist. Add to game. Okay. Yeah, a Discord bot makes sense. That's another thing that I have to learn at some point, is how on earth to use Discord bots and commands properly. There's so many things I have to learn. That's a big problem in my life right now, is I want to know how to do a large number of things. But my brain is small. And my skill level low. Like right now, I also want to learn how to edit videos, and it'd be real great to learn how to draw, and learning live 2D would be spectacular. If I could draw and do live TV, I would be in a much closer to debut part of VTube career, but I'm not there. I'm not there yet. Still cannot draw. But I also want to learn video editing. Video editing, super useful skill. Very difficult, very hard. Lots of things. Today we learning this because I thought that I could maybe remember this with my brain. Big beholder, little learning. Yes, exactly. But wait, as a beholder, you can turn off magic, that's for sure. You can, just turn off everybody's magic. Do that. Okay, it says click the plus add button, but I don't see the plus add button it's talking about. Okay, we're gonna skip this for now. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna skip that. What's the turn tracker? Okay. It must be magic, honestly. Or it's that they spent a bunch of time, like, thinking back on it, I was like, man, how did all these people learn to draw so good? And then I remember, like, people in my school that would draw all the way through every single class every day since like the first grade, and it's like, oh, they spent a bunch of time learning it. Why didn't I do that? Must have just been dumb. I spent all my class time telling my teachers why they were wrong and why the science didn't line up with their education methods. Spent a bunch of time showing old teachers why homework was proven in studies to be not good for the brain. And they were like, well, you're just a stupid kid. What do you know? And I was like, but studies. And they go, nobody believes studies. This is America. Okay, the turn tracker tool aids you and your players with turn-based games by presenting an interactive list to the group. Once it is open, the turn tracker is visible to all the players. That seems useful. The players will only see tokens that have been given turns on the page. As the GM, you'll see all tokens for all pages. Click the turn tracker tool in the toolbox to continue. Okay, wait, is this turn tracker? That's turn tracker. Okay. Turn order. There aren't currently any tokens on this page that take a turn. Right-click a token and choose Add a Turn. You can also use the shortcut Control-U to quickly add groups. Add a token to the turn order by right-clicking on the token to open the context menu and then selecting Add Turn. You can add multiple turns per token. Really? Multiple turns per token? Okay, add a turn. This thing has a turn. Got it. Turn order is 4. It has a turn order of 4. Got it. Dedication is magic. I mean, probably. That's probably true. Dedication is pretty difficult. It's like magic. You just jam into this music. That's why I wish that I already had my model, because you could see my jamming and it would make sense. Boom. 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 Okay, add a token to the turn order. Yeah. Give it a try. Yeah, well, I did that. Add a turn. It has 2 turns. Why would it have 2 turns? I don't know. I don't understand. Okay. Clicking the number next to the token will allow you to track a turn-related value, like initiative. You can also drag a roll result directly from the text chat to update the turn tracker. Optionally, there are roll macros that will automatically add the selected token to the tracker with the result of the macros roll. Learn more from the dice reference. Sounds hard. Why does it put some of these off screen? I don't quite understand. Give it a try. Click the arrow to continue. That one? Oh, it orders them. That makes sense. That would make sense. Yeah. And then... Wait. Oh, and it cycles. It cycles to the next turn. Okay. How do I... That. Okay. Makes sense. Using the macro code. I mean, for initiative rolls, that seems really easy. For our actual tabletop games, I bought this thing from Paizo, which is the people who make Pathfinder, that is a magnetic turn tracker, initiative tracker thingy, that has about 1 million little magnetic pieces, and it's like a metal board thing, and you can, write like everybody's names and Sharpies on the little pieces and move them around, and there's ones for monsters, and I don't know, it was less easy than this to manage, that's for sure. That's a thing. Okay, so I did this. What else? Macros. Why are these off screen? I don't understand. Can I? No. It's not on screen. What am I supposed to do? Oh, that looks ugly on the stream. Just ignore that, please. Why is the text box that I'm supposed to be looking at off screen? What if I click the button again? Macros button? What if I turn this off? Okay, turn tracker, macros button. I did minimize the chat, yes. Would that help if I brought the chat thing back? And then hit it? Oh! That explains it. Thank you so much. Okay, the macros section is located at the top of the collection tab. You have the option to set up global macros from this area. As the GM, you can make these macros accessible to some or all of your players. Players can also create their own macros Player-created macros are not attached to a particular character the way abilities are. A macro requires both a name and an action, which could be a commonly used role or text. To continue, press the add button. Name. Don't include the number or spaces in the name. Test macro. Okay. Name your macro and add text, an emote, or role to the actions field. An example would be me stabs with their dagger, or / roll 1d20 plus 10 versus AC. You have several actions, text, emotes, and roles in the same macro. Each action must be its own line. Okay, so you could set this up to, so you just like type attack and it does your main attack. That would make sense. Or like, it's like dagger and it would do your like 1d3 plus whatever, your 1d4 plus modifier plus blanky blank thing. That makes sense, kind of. Each action must be on its own line. After you've input an action, press the test. Okay, so okay, wait, let me try this. R 1D 4 plus 3. Okay. You can set the macro to be a token action. This displays the macro as a quickly selectable button hovering near the top left of the VTT near the toolbox whenever you have a token selected. Set the player visibility or delete the macro from the edit macro pop-up. I have a friend who makes them. Well, that's cool. Yeah, I mean, if you learned all the programming for this, I mean, could essentially automate your entire character sheet, because most characters have like a melee attack, a ranged attack, and a spell or a special ability or something. So, but if you go to the cog on the far right, you can enable 3D rolling dice. Oh, is that how you do it? Okay, I'm just gonna say that for now. If you've saved your macro, you can roll it from the My Settings tab, clicking the D20 icon on the left of the macro's name. You can add your macro to the macro quick bar located at the bottom of the screen by clicking the checkbox. Okay. It's a useful place to store your most common roles and access them with a touch. While hovering over a quick bar macro, a small handle will appear to the right of macro. Clicking and dragging the handle will allow you to sort the macros in any order that works. Okay. You can also right-click your quick bar macros to open a context menu with options to rename your macros or give them a color. There are many options to customize macros, including nesting, calling abilities, selected and targeted macros, and much more. Please refer to our dice reference to learn more. Decks of cards are... Okay, I don't want to do the cards quite yet. Wait, so... Scroll down. Okay, and it automatically rolled the 3D die. Let's try that. And then... Yeah, well, I don't want to do that yet. Let me... Okay, fine. Decks of cards are available from the Collections tab. Deck of many things, anybody? Deck of many things, maybe? I appreciated a good deck of many things. Okay, every game has the traditional deck of 54 playing cards by default. You can show a deck by selecting the show button, which will make it visible to you and all your players. Give it a try by clicking the show button. Decks that have been shown are visible along the right-hand side of the VTT. Hover your mouse over the deck to reveal a context menu. This menu allows you to deal or recall cards as well as shuffle or hide the deck. To continue, click the shuffle option and confirm in the shuffle pop-up. Hell yeah, a good deck of many things. That would be a cool thing to add. I don't know. I've always thought the deck of many things is cool, but could be far better balanced. But I guess that's why homebrew exists. Like, just put your own stuff in it. But like, I don't know. Deck of many things is a fun item, both in that you give it to unexperienced players and they go, why is this a magic item? And then immediately pull a card and die. And it's also fun to experienced players because even though most people know you're not supposed to metagame, any like experienced D&D person, you hand them a mysterious magical deck of cards and they'll be like, I'm not touching that. I'm not going anywhere near that. Just get it away from me. It's too scary. Yeah, I think auto kill is really cheap. But having that fear there of the possibility of an auto kill is fun. The thing about the deck of mini as it's set up is it's meant to be a very, very high level thing. There's some of them that would be an auto kill to, you know, like most characters, but a 20th or a 19th level character could probably survive. Yeah, wild magic, right? Wild magic is great. Wild magic, as it's generally built in the game rules, is annoying and overpowered or very deadly. But yeah, a tweak magic item are cool. Are there repercussions for very bad effects that could kill somebody? Yeah. There's none that are wild magic happens, you die. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think especially if you're going to allow things like wild magic sorcerers, you really have to tweak the wild magic tables. Because like if there's a character who's relying on wild magic, I think wild magic should be like, you know, superpowers that you don't know how to control, and there should be things on that table that aren't necessarily good for you, but there should also be things on that table that are really cool when you pull them off. And there should be a lot less like, I accidentally fireball right on the spot that I'm standing and explode into a million pieces. Okay. Hover your mouse over the deck, you should notice a card move up. Click and drag this card from the deck into the VTT. Bam! We got a 5 of diamonds. How often the surge is, where every spell they cast increases the DC. Yeah, that makes sense. It's an increasing chance to surge. I don't know. Wild magic is fun. There was a Pathfinder character that I was helping a friend build that was an Aether Kineticist. The Kineticist is when they added stuff like Avatar The Last Airbender to Pathfinder, so they're like element benders, and so the Aether Kineticist can bend the Aether itself that holds the realms together or whatever. But basically in actual game rules, what that means is they have constant telekinesis and mage hand active, pretty much. Like, at lower level, they have constant mage hand, and as they increase in level, the mage hand gets stronger, and they have more, like, constant telekinesis, which is really, really cool. Unfortunately, I was helping build that character for a friend who was not especially creative and couldn't figure out how you could possibly use telekinesis in a fight when it says that you can't, like, just punch somebody with it. I was like, okay, but you could, like, dump stuff over somebody's head, or you could trip somebody or something like that. And he's like, well, it says you can't punch them with this, so I don't know what to do. It's like, okay. But the Aether Kineticist has an ability that they can obtain, that they have some control over wild magic, so they can at will cause a wild magic surge, which in Pathfinder can mean a lot of things, but it could absolutely be incredible. And that's something you get as, like, a 3rd level ability to cause a wild magic surge. And I kept trying to convince him. I was like, you want to take that? And he's like, but I think I would rather take the thing that gives me, like, a lightsaber made of Aether that does, like, 1d6 plus 3 damage. I'm like, no, you don't want that. You want the wild magic, right? Like, the lightsaber is cool. Wild magic is better. Yeah, I'd be interesting to see that campaign, because I've seen a few campaigns where wild magic is a major component, but often that just means, like, the DM gets to decide what spell goes off when you cast a spell or something like that, and I think that's a little bit lame. It makes sense, but I think it's a little bit lame. Yeah, I'd be really interested to see how you take use of good wild magic. Okay, you can drag and drop cards on the player portrait to deal to the player. Yeah. Alright. Right-click the card on the VTT to reveal its context menu, where you'll find options like flipping the card over, putting the card into your hand, or using it to add a turn to the turn tracker. Using a card to add a turn? I mean, I guess. Yeah, that would be cool. I don't know. One of the things for me is always DMing can sometimes get a little bit tiring, because, like, the people who are willing to do things like DM get the, like, stuck in the always DM position a lot, and then you don't get to play your interesting character ideas, which, as somebody who DMs a lot, you find weird things in the book and you're like, this would make the best character ever, and then you don't get to use it as a PC. Like, everybody's like, well, just use it as a villain. Yeah, but I mean, if I use it as villain, then all the players will find out how it works or kill it before they find out how it works. On one of those days, we alternate who DMs their own campaigns. Yeah, alternate DMing, I think, is a really good idea. But one of the things is, like, if you're juggling multiple campaigns, that can get a little bit confusing, especially for people who are newer to the game. Also, if your game requires any outside of game actions, some people won't do that. Like, one problem that I was running into is to save time at sessions we were doing, okay, well, if you level up during a session, you know, you level up before you come to the next session. Well, a lot of people will just go, I don't have time, so I'll just level up during the next session. Well, then there's all the, like, flipping through books and reading and asking questions about abilities. It's like, you had essentially a week to do that. And doing it now whilst we're playing is a little bit frustrating. But yeah, definitely alternating. I've tried to, unsuccessfully before, set up a system where multiple people both DM and play a character in a campaign at the same time. That was not great. Our 5e at minimum level doesn't take as much book flipping. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I guess part of my point of view comes from playing a lot of Pathfinder. And Pathfinder 1e, it just has so much stuff in it. Right, especially if you want to play a non-core race and a non-core class, and you have non-core feats and non-core items. It's like you have 16 books open on the table and there's no room for character sheets or dice rolling or maps. Access the card menu by clicking the deck's name in the Decks and Tables tab. You can edit the default behavior of a deck. These options include whether cards are drawn face up or down, if a player's hands are visible to each other, and much more. Okay, that's pretty cool. Players also have other options with cards, including stealing cards from each other, playing cards face up or down, and more. Check out collections for more information, including details on creating your own custom decks. Okay, the last group on the collection tab are rollable tables. Unlike decks, there are no default rollable tables, but one has been included here as an example. Rollable tables can be used to create a result from a weighted list or randomly generate a token. Interesting. Yeah, doing it all online. One of the things I found with Pathfinder is even some of the online tools just can't have everything from the game. Like, there's an app, but that only includes some of the extra materials. And they've added more online compatibility for Pathfinder 2, but I've not met very many people who play Pathfinder 2. Like, I've read through it a little. It's interesting. I like what they did with Paladin for Pathfinder 2. Yeah, the SRD. Yeah, that's the thing, is, like, I don't hear that much about it. Back when we could, like, go to game stores, we used to play for a while at a game store every week, and the game store had Pathfinder 2 books, but, like, I don't know, not that many people, I don't think, play Pathfinder 2. And from what I've read of it, Pathfinder 2 is basically like, oh, 5e is really successful because it's simplified. We're going to simplify. And I don't know. I just like, mainly from what I've seen, what they did with the way that Paladin works, because instead of the Paladin having any alignment base, or like just a lawful good base or a chaotic evil, Paladins have different class options depending on the alignment and god that you want, which I think makes a lot more sense than, like, well, there's only lawful good and chaotic evil paladins. Well, why would the chaotic evil even want paladins? That should be lawful evil. But, like, every god having their own group of paladin-like fighters makes sense. See, it seems almost impossible, but that's because Pathfinder 2 is not Pathfinder, right? It's kind of like saying if you directly compared 5e to advanced D&D, where one of them is a modern game and another is like a compilation of old books. It's kind of like that. Pathfinder 1 is a bloated, chaotic mess. Pathfinder 2 is strip every single thing from that bloated, chaotic mess that's not absolutely necessary to the core of the game. So like leveling and player creation and all of that kind of stuff is way simplified. There's less stats and everything. Okay, rollable tables create a custom result. Rollable tables are useful for filling certain system mechanics, creating random tokens, such as randomly choosing from a pool of similar monsters, or tokens that have multiple images, such as a shape changer. The roll button will roll the table based on the table's weighted items. Give it a try, click the roll. The table's result will be displayed in the text chat. You can roll tables directly from the chat with the syntax of /roll table name. For example, you could roll the example table twice by typing /r2t example table. The token button will create a new token from the roll result and place it on the tabletop. Give it a try. Continue by clicking a token to add the roll table token to the VTT. Right-clicking the rollable token to reveal a context menu. Options are similar to the token and shape context menus with an additional multi-sided option. Use this option to quickly change between token graphics. Alright, I won't be a stranger. Catch you later. Have a good time. Thanks for showing up. I actually really appreciate. Add new tables using the Add button and edit tables by clicking on the rollable table's name to open the table editor window. Items can be added to the list, each with their own name, image, and table weight. Rollable tables are very flexible tools. More information can be found on rollable tables. Each player has their own accessibles through the My Settings tab. You can adjust the master volume slider to control your personal internal audio, music, sound effects volume. This will not adjust the volume for your players, who control their own master volume from the same menu. My Settings menu also has options to adjust your video and voice preferences, including the avatar size. Experienced users may find the advanced keyboard shortcuts a critical time saver. Advanced shortcuts allow you to swap objects between layers or select tools at the touch of a button. Learn more about other options in this tab, visit My Settings. Thank you for completing the tutorial. Whoa, look at that. We've officially completed the tutorial for Roll20. That only took, about 2.25 hours. Though I did ramble a lot. That was a lot of rambling, so, life happens. What should we do? It's not too late. Let's see what we can do. Let me pull up this thing and put this there, and then close this. Wait, where's the background? Let me see if I can actually make this thing work, is the thing. That's not what I want to do. Okay. So, move. But if I select this boyo? No. Okay, this boyo. Yeah, we might have to do more learning of this at a later point. I might put building things for D&D or learning things for D&D as part of my weekly stream schedule. But until that point, what I think I'm gonna do is end off the stream. So let me see if there's anybody who we can raid. Raids are fun. Oh, don't show this, please. How do I make it not show this? There. Okay. I need to follow more people on Twitch. There aren't very many people on sometimes. But there is one person streaming. So let's go ahead and do a raid. And we shall raid with evil laughter and invade as the villains that we are. Mwah.